Well, it's been a year since I asked, would you own one of these sheds? So that's what today's video is about. Well, first things first, this is an American Steel building. It is a 20 by 30 by 8 foot sidewalls. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for what I needed at the time. I just needed a place to throw a bunch of tractors, and it's exceeded my expectations. Now, it's held down by the mobile home anchors, and I mean, I watched them pound them in the ground. I mean, they got to be 5 foot down in the ground. I mean, and there's a slew of them through here. Now, I do have this insured. I pay $20 a month, and no matter what happens to it, it's on them, not me. And I think that's pretty cheap. Now, a year ago, when things were priced correctly, I paid $4,000 for this building. Now, that doesn't include the dirt work and the stone and this and that and the other thing. I mean, if you add that in plus the building, the whole kit and caboodle probably ran me, I'm going to tell you, about $5,500. All right, I'm going to add that you're not getting anything for that price today. Probably 55 is probably now $7,000. That's because I wanted to, this was actually a dip. I don't know, I may put some video footage of me clearing this out, but there was a tree standing about right here, a maple, and then this was kind of dipped in, and it was just a mess. I wanted to elevate it, so I had clay soil brought in, leveled it off, and then a couple loads of 2B stone is what you see right there. The reason I've been waiting to put another building up for the grain truck and the combine and probably some implements, it's because I wanted to see how this performed in our rugged weather, how mainly it would hold up to the wind. And we've had several days where the winds were 60, 70 miles an hour. I guess I shouldn't say several, but a handful, 6, 7, 8 days where the winds were up there. This didn't budge. It held up very well to the snow. That's one criticism I got, is the framing on this wouldn't hold up to the Northwest Pennsylvania snow, and it indeed does. One thing that helps is the predominant wind that's west. It comes along just like this. It keeps this side cleaned off, and then it blows over, and I didn't get a bunch of buildup on there. Now, I don't know if, we got the blizzard of 79 to hit this thing. It'd probably take it down. It'd take the house down. But the reality is this thing's held up extremely well, to the point where I'm going to put one up exactly like it. I'm going to put a 30 by 50 up with 12-foot sidewalls. Now, this peak here, okay, you say 8-foot sidewalls, that peak's, it's well over 10 feet. I mean, I think of somebody that can slam dunk a basketball, and I am here to tell you, you are not touching that. Ain't no way. It doesn't look that high on video, but I'm gonna call that, if it ain't 11, I pole vaulted in high school, and if that ain't 11 and a half, I don't know what is. Put it to you like this, safely it's 11 feet. It's 11 feet. So it climbs. You're talking about a 3-foot climb to the peak. So that's pretty substantial. I figured it would go 2 foot. I figured 8 foot here, 10 foot there, but it's higher than that. It's 10 and a half, 11 foot. I'm going to tell you all day there. So I wanted to give this building a year before I obligated myself to either a stick-built pole barn or another one of these. And as cheap as these darn things are, I mean, even one at 30 by 50 with the 12-foot sidewalls, it'll give me at least a 14 and a half foot peak. And that's perfect for what I need for the combine. I just need something to get things out of the weather. I don't care about working on stuff. I'll work on stuff. I've done more field fixes in my life than I ever have in a shop. Obviously, you need a place to, if you're going to split a tractor, to do that kind of work, yes. But as far as changing out a radiator, having it record, pulling it, or changing a water pump, I can do it in a building like this just fine. The bells and whistles, the comforts, and I never knew that route. Growing up in the military or otherwise, I never did. So I'm pretty hardcore when it comes to turning wrenches in adverse places. So I guess to summarize this whole thing up, I'm impressed with it. I'm happy with it. For the money especially, I've already picked a spot for my next one, and it's already kind of, I don't want to say pre-level. And I don't use a laser level. I just use the old string method and the levels on the string levels. But this right here, this ground, it's flatter than a pancake. Now, over the years, I've planted this, turned it, and it's been planted in corn before, clover, soybeans, but those days are over because I need storage, because I want to buy stuff and I want to store it. And but just eyeballing this, it is a little bit higher here, I can tell. So just put a little dirt over there, you're good to go. This is the spot. This is the exit, marks the spot. So we'll have that right there, and then this right here. Chances are I'm going to run electric to this one though, because it's too far away. To run extension cords is just a big pain in the butt. But yeah, this is it. Like I say, it's just a little higher there than it is here. So I'll have some dirt hauled in, some soil hauled in. I'll level it off, and now I'm going to make this 30 by 50. So what I'll do is I'll level 35 by 55. So I'll go over 5 feet wide and long, and go from there. Probably going to cut that tree down right there, so ain't nothing falling this way that I have to deal with later. Ounce preventions, pound to cure. And so that's going to go bye-bye. But that building is getting worked on pretty much starting next week. I'll have the dirt hauled in. I'll have the 400 here, and the 4 stakes, and the line levels. But somebody was saying the other day, they're like, boy, your beans look ready to pick. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of things look ready to pick, but we've had about 5 straight days of rain. And in order to harvest soybeans, you really need a couple dry days. I like 3 dry days, and at the end of that 3rd dry day, you go in and you attack and you pick your soybeans. Now, what's happened this year is we have not had a frost yet. It's hard to believe as it is. We had a light one last week, but it was like 38 degrees for the low. And what it's done, you can see all this goldenrod in the field here. What it's done is it's tricked the field into believing it's spring. So all the weeds, this was 95% weed free. But what it did was it tricked the soil into believing it's spring, and that the goldenrod and the weeds need to grow. And that's exactly what's happened here. Obviously they're in R8. You can't go in and spray them. And this is not a standalone field. I'm using this as an example. But the weeds have really taken off in this. And I just hope it's not a problem, because green, chewy goldenrod stalks can give you problems in these older combines. So that's the story on the harvest videos. We've had rain, and I need dry to really run them right. I don't have a dryer, so I can't pick them, at 17% and dry them down to 13 and haul them. Heck, I'll pick them at 14 and haul them. But, beans are kind of spongy when it comes to humidity and just absorbing moisture in general. I've picked them at 13, threw them in the truck, tarped them, and we've got no rain other than, say, dew or just the regular condensation of the evening. And then you go out the next morning. I have a moisture tester, and by the way, that is a John Deere moisture tester. So if I put them in the truck or the wagon at 13.5%, it's not uncommon at all to go out the next day and they've picked up a percentage of moisture, you know, and they're just tricky to play with. You really need them dry when you go, but I'm gonna have to contend with all this goldenrod. We need a frost. We need a frost to kill these weeds, dry them out. There you go. New building going here. And I'm happy with the old one. Boom. In tomorrow's video, the Super C gets some friends.